My name is Brian Burke. I'm a program manager with WSP, and I work on the program management team supporting the Connecticut DOT in the delivery of the Walk Bridge program. With it being the Northeast Corridor, we can't interrupt service. That's a non-starter for anything. During the design stages, we had to come up with ways to construct a new bridge without disrupting the current rail traffic. We really came up with a few innovative ways of doing that, and primarily we began installing last summer or a year ago, began installing foundation drilled shafts right next to the bridge, and then we even had to come up with a special way, something called micropile clusters, that allowed us to install something similar to a drilled shaft, but underneath the existing bridge with very little headroom, right? So we kept the bridge in the closed position so that trains could go across, but the contractor came up with a unique way of installing major foundation elements that go down 70 to 90 feet below the water. And now we are currently building out what will become the bridge piers that everyone will see. And it's going to be we call it the dance floor. It's approximately a 50 by 100 foot by 5 feet deep concrete box that'll sit right on top of all these foundation elements that we put in the ground already. And there'll be two of these, one on each side of the river. And as those are constructed and once they're finished, then that'll give us a platform to build the new towers, because it's going to be a lift bridge, so the new towers will go up right alongside the existing bridge, up until we get to a point where we will be able to demolish half of the existing bridge longitudinally, so the two tracks on the north will be demolished, and then we'll bring in the new bridge on a barge, which is being fabricated off-site at a Manresa Island, which is currently privately owned, but the DOT has a partnership that allows us to use that laydown space for the contractor. So they'll bring those in on a barge, install the new span, make it operational, and then be able to start demolition on the other half of the bridge. And that's how we're going down, around, under, and up and above the existing bridge to get the new one built. So I am a third generation civil engineer. So I grew up with the mindset of solving engineering challenges. Spending a lot of time with my grandfather, who was a professional engineer. He drilled it into me at an early age, and he was always coming up with solutions to different, even at home, if he wanted to do a project or whatever, he would build it himself. And so I took that mindset, and then of course had the education to get the engineering degree and everything. And I knew I wanted to work on big projects. I knew I wanted to solve challenging problems. And I never quite thought it would become this way, because on the program management side of the house, we're not the ones necessarily coming up with all the solutions to all these technical problems. We have very talented engineers that are really good at it, very knowledgeable construction professionals who have decades of experience actually turning drawings into real buildings or bridges. But being in a role where you kind of have to know a little bit of this and know a little bit of that, and understand, there's a public stakeholder component to it, and might be a political component to it, there's financial components to it. The program management is where a lot of those things come together. I never really thought myself being in that, but now that I am in here and I get to see every little bit of how a major program comes together, it's pretty rewarding at this point. Yeah, this is what was told to me when I was younger as an engineering student was, and I'm trying to tell this to my kids too, but you get an engineering degree, you can do almost anything with an engineering degree. You know, you can teach finance to an engineer, but you can't teach engineering to a finance or business major. Nothing against those disciplines, but I think just getting the degree itself is a tremendous achievement for anyone. It can get very hard. You know, in entry-level jobs, you do have to do a lot of routine work, and it's not super exciting, but it will pay off down the road. And it's a really great career. It can take you many different directions, whether it's pure technical, project or program management, or even just managing an engineering office is a skill set all its own too.